I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fixed fire. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
Yeah.
Hey, can't find nothing on the radio. Yo, turn to that station.
Say, kids, what time is it?
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Jeff Lutz.
We should be in the moment, but also it's good to have something to look forward to.
Oh, that's true.
And Jason Duda.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that anything's wrong or anything like that. It's just that you're looking forward to something.
Lesson 1, lose the goatee. Lesson 2, get a suit.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
It's showtime, baby! You go wacko, bananas, nuts, crazy, unbelievable!
Good afternoon and welcome. It is Bob and Jeff on KFH. Where's Bob? We need Bob.
Where's Bob?
Bob's probably awake somewhere, which is
Good.
more than I can say right now for my current co-host. His name is Jason Duda. You know him as Jason Duda. Are you okay?
Yes.
Are you going to hang in there today? I'm going to have to make you mad again. I don't like when this happens. When I got to drag stuff out of you and I got to say something controversial or mean almost, angry, just to get you to liven up a little bit.
Yeah.
Didn't you just have a long weekend?
No.
You didn't. Did you work on Thanksgiving?
No.
I did. Did you work the day after Thanksgiving?
Yes.
I didn't. I guess we're
Did
even.
you work Saturday?
No.
I did.
Did I work Saturday? No, I slept a lot.
Oh, good for you. No, I did not.
So your
I did
feet,
not.
you're struggling a little bit as we come in here.
Yes, getting this 2:30 mornings, this is like a long day right now.
If you just started showing up at 5 a.m., would anybody notice?
Maybe not.
I mean, you could try it.
I've thought about it. I've thought about just kind of wandering in and saying, yeah, well, I've been here the whole time.
Because who at 5 o'clock or at 2:30 in the morning wants to be responsible for what time you come in?
Nobody.
So if you roll in at 5, what are they going to do? These people are dead tired. They're leading probably very sad lives, generally speaking. And
Yeah, that's probably it.
and they're not going to do anything.
No,
So just start working at 5.
it's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll just start going in at 5. I could do that.
Yeah, you'd be fine then.
Yeah, I mean, I should last a few days.
I don't know how an adult man wakes up at 2 in the morning. How do you wake up at 2:30 or do you start work at 2:30? What's the situation?
No, I leave around 2:45.
Okay.
Leave the house. Well, yeah, it'll be earlier this week, so probably leave around.
But you can't go to bed before like 9:30.
Well, I try to, but well, it's easier. It'll be easier now to go to sleep earlier because we have to get up for the rest of until New Year's. We'll be starting around 3, if not earlier. So
And we're talking about the UPS gig,
yeah, so
which is very
it'll-
busy at this time of the year.
Yes, it is. So it's difficult some days.
How does your shift compare to others as far as workload? Is it just the same 24 hours a day and no one really has a lull or a peak? What's the deal? What's the situation?
No, there's no real. No, you're there and you're working. I mean,
You're
you're
working.
working till 9 o'clock ish, depending on how heavy we are package wise. So if we're at 50,000 for the day, we'll be there till 9 o'clock.
How many of the packages like really make you work? Like
A lot.
There are a lot of heavy ones.
Yeah, and you
That's too
gotta
bad.
put them up over your head. That's the big thing.
You
So
do?
you're
For
like-
what?
It's literally like a workout.
Why do you have to put them over your head?
Well,
To get
because you got to
onto
put them on the
truck?
belts. You got 5 belts. You got 2 that are up over your head. So anything that's orange or red, going to the orange or red belt that come out,
Okay.
you're lifting
No idea
those
what that means.
up over. Well, there's 5 belts,
Right.
and the belts head out to the truck. So you have the green belt, the red belt, the orange belt,
Like
the yellow
karate.
belt, and the blue belt.
Is there a black belt? That's when you
There's
really
no black belt.
have made it.
Zero
Okay,
black
No
belts.
black belts.
None.
But it's a karate-like system.
It's a karate-like system. In some ways, you want to karate chop the packages that are coming at you.
I can
Because you
imagine.
get tired of them.
Have you had
But you're not allowed to throw them. You get throw
No.
a package, you get fired. So you
You
can't
do?
do that. Oh, yeah.
What if you drop one?
Well, if you accidentally drop one, but you can't throw one.
Well, I understand. You're not going to do it on purpose, but the end result is
Find
the
another
same.
job if you throw a package. That's
But the
that's
end
the rule.
result of throw, drop, the thing probably breaks. The result is the same. So the
No,
discipline-
because if you're throwing one, then you're maliciously doing it, right?
But the result, Duda, is the same. Just like there's manslaughter and there's first-degree murder. The intent might be different, but the result is you have now a deceased person
That's true.
at the hands of somebody else.
That's true.
So if you drop a package, no discipline. If you throw a package,
Well, there may be some
gonzo.
discipline. There may be some discipline if you break some.
Have you ever broken anything?
Can't say that I have. That I know. Can't say that
but
I have.
But have you?
No.
You can't say that you have, but
Well, I
maybe
can't-
you have.
Well, maybe because packages, you never know what's in them. So if I take one and put it on a belt and it lands wrong, or there's something in there that's glass and it doesn't say fragile on it, then maybe it broke. I don't know. It could have.
Have you just
Can't
been
say.
Have you just been told that if you throw a package, you're fired, or have you seen that happen?
Well, I haven't seen it happen.
That'd
But
be
you
fun.
don't see people throw packages.
I wouldn't think so, but I
If
don't
your
know what goes
supervisor
on.
sees you throw a package, you're out of there.
At 3 in the
That's
morning, people
somebody's-
are
that's-
probably pretty angry.
That's somebody's stuff, right?
I guess.
That's somebody's
Eventually it will be.
stuff. So you don't do that. It's a pretty easy rule.
I mean, I get the rule, but the rule has to be in place because it happened, right? There's no rule that exists because.
Well, I think the rule is there because if you throw something, there's a much better chance that it would break.
Right.
So you don't throw it. That's a rule.
Okay.
Quite simple. They highly frown upon throwing a package.
Is there? And I
It's
got a
not
lot
good.
of questions.
Okay, well, hit me.
You're throwing these things, not really throwing them, but you have them above your head.
Yeah.
So you don't let them down gently. It doesn't seem like. Or why
Well,
would you
most of the time, yeah, they're right up here, so it's just lift and push.
Okay. So there's no real danger of any mishaps on the throwing process or
Well-
the putting process.
Well, it depends because we're so heavy during this time that a lot of times that belt as it's moving, you got guys. There's 10 of us up there, so the belt might be full. So if you push one up there and you got a big heavy package and it hits another box and doesn't fit, then that thing's going to come back at you.
Ugh.
So you got to be careful.
I get it, sort of. I think I have one more question.
Oh.
At least one more question.
Okay, what do you got?
Where do you get the packages from? They go,
I get them right from the truck.
So it goes from
So
the
somebody-
truck to you to the belt.
There's an unloader in the truck that has an extender. So as he's going in the truck, the belt goes to him. He puts them on the belt.
And they
Goes
go
out
to another truck?
They go to a spa person. They put the spa label on it. So then it comes to me, so I know what belt it's going on. So then I take that and put that on that belt. Then that belt takes it down to that color of belt where there's around 20 trucks. And then whatever package that is, like if it's yellow, it could be going to every truck has a name. So it could be going to golf. So then that person that's loading the golf truck takes that off and puts it in the truck.
Are you eyeing a promotion to spa person or whatever?
Spa?
Spa?
No.
You get to sit in a spa though?
You
don't know
that's
what
the
spa
gig.
person does.
That's the
They
gig.
kind of keep that away from.
I mean, that's you're not lifting anything. You're not really doing a ton until after you got to do the E-regs, which are a real pain in the butt.
Well, it sounds like it.
Well, they're everything that's usually at over 6 feet tall or 70 pounds. So then you're having to move those.
That's scary.
By hand. Just move them somewhere. Taking them out to belts.
Okay.
I don't like E-regs.
Who would?
My old body and back, they don't like it. So that's it. Yeah, so that's, there you go. There's your UPS knowledge for the day.
I don't think we've covered a lot of that on the show before.
Probably not. That's your background knowledge for what happens. So if you're looking for a package, that's how it gets to you. It comes in a truck backs up to the bay, the unloader gets it, puts it on a belt, the belt goes out, spa person puts a label on it comes out to me, I put it on the correct belt, it goes out to that belt, that person that's loading that truck takes that box off, walks it into the truck, puts it in where it's supposed to be, and then the driver drives it to you.
Wow.
Congratulations.
And the driver is the one that can throw it.
Well, nobody's going to really see the driver, I guess. I don't know.
Well, your doorbell cams
Ring
now
cam
are going to
has
see
it.
the
the
drivers.
ring cam will see it. You don't.
Plenty of those on YouTube.
It's a little different nowadays. I'm thinking
Yeah,
that
you
you
gotta
got
be
to
a lot
really
more
be careful
careful.
as a driver because there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah, that's an adjustment for
Yeah,
the drivers
that's why
to make.
I'm not driver
All right.
because
well,
after a few hours it'd be bad.
that was pretty interesting.
Did you
background.
enjoy that?
Do you feel like
that was
you,
something?
do
The
you feel like-
listeners, I know you're on the edge of your seats right now, but that's my everyday.
So that's a lot of steps for people to get their Christmas gifts, their birthday gifts, their home decor, anything that they feel like is going to enhance their lives in that moment. The question then is, do you feel like you're paid enough?
Well, of course not.
You can't say that.
Why not?
What if somebody's listening?
Then let them listen. Yeah, we need more.
Jeff's birthday's coming up. You could possibly see a package addressed to him coming down your conveyor belt.
I have only seen one package of my own in the 4 years I've
Did you
been
just
there.
keep it?
You can, but then you have to go and actually sign it out and stuff. So no, I just put it on the belt and it gets there.
That's pretty cool.
But
though,
so that's what it takes when you just hit a button on your iPad saying, "Oh, put this in my cart. I'm buying this."
Yep.
Then that's how it gets there.
Then Jason Duda's involved,
Oh.
which is really scary.
Yeah, it is. That is. You don't want that.
We got a lot to talk about today on the show.
We do?
See, I woke you up. I got you talking about your job.
Yeah, now I'm tired.
Which is fun for you. At 2:25, we'll run down some guests. We're going to talk a lot of high school basketball this week. Do you know why?
Because it starts on
Because
Friday.
high school basketball starts this week. You get less than a week between the end of high school football and the beginning of high school basketball.
It's crazy.
Which I guess is weird in a lot of ways, but look, you got college football and basketball going on at the same time. You got pro football and basketball going on at the same time. At least the athletes who participate in both sports get some time off.
Not really,
Not much.
because they're probably wanting to be practicing.
Especially leading up to the first games on Friday.
And they've been practicing for what, a couple weeks now? Basketball?
Probably.
Well, I'm trying to think. Avery goes in and she manages the varsity boys and girls. So, yeah, it's been a couple weeks they've been practicing.
Not if you played football.
Well, they had because then you got to wait for those guys to come in. It's got to be a little tough because then you're practicing, then you're getting some more athletes in. Then you got to plug and play.
You just got to be ready.
A lot of them, too, probably juniors and seniors, probably know the parameters of everything that's going on. So I'm sure they'll be fine.
We have Donald Dixon. We have the number 4 ranked teams in Class 6A, boys and girls. We have both of their coaches. Can you believe Wichita Southeast, the trials and tribulations that girls basketball program has been through? They've had some ups, but they've had a lot of downs over the last couple decades or so. They've never really been a team that you would think threatens to play for a state championship, make a deep run in March. But here, Donald Dixon, our friend Donald Dixon, one of the great guests we have on this show, has the Buffaloes number 4 in the preseason Class 6A rankings.
That's impressive.
It is impressive.
It is. It's impressive.
I saw that today, and I'm like, wow, we got to get Donald Dixon on the show.
So you made a call?
Well, we made a text.
Oh, a text?
Yeah.
Didn't even call?
Nah, we don't call.
Nah, just text.
Does anybody
nowadays.
call?
I guess.
I've called for
Well, they
guests
got to call
before.
in to actually talk, but you don't call to say, hey, can you do this? You just send a text.
Send a text.
Yeah, it's easier.
Much easier. And at 2:45, didn't split these up because I couldn't. They got practice in the 3 o'clock.
Practice?
In the 3 o'clock hour.
Practice?
Yeah. What are we talking about? The coach of the number 4 ranked team in the preseason in Class 6A, that is your Derby Panthers.
Uh-oh.
And their coach is Brett Flory.
Uh-oh. There's Derby again.
Derby's always there.
Everywhere. They can't hide.
No.
If you're from Derby, you can't hide.
Good athletic program, huge school.
Enormous.
Just an absolutely gargantuan school.
It's a beast of a school.
It is. And Brett Flory will be on the show with us today. That's the goal, at least for the 3 days we have together before Bob returns on Thursday. We're going to get a boys coach and a girls coach. So you're looking at maybe a Taylor Dugan. I don't have anybody lined up yet.
No.
From Carroll, you're looking at maybe a Hannah Alexander. from Andover, Martin Shetler from Andover. There's a lot of teams. Joe Auer. I mean, why wouldn't we call Joe Auer?
Well, you'd be crazy not to.
There's only one reason why we wouldn't call Joe Auer.
And what would that be, Jeff?
A year ago, I interviewed him for over an hour. Joe Auer for over an hour.
Well done.
With the promise of a story, a big feature on KWCH.com, and that never materialized.
Why?
What'd
you do?
Just ran out of time.
Drop the ball?
Didn't really drop the ball.
Obviously,
yeah,
you did.
I did a little.
You wasted an hour of the man's time.
Did I?
Probably more than that.
Gosh, when you put it like that, it makes me feel bad. I haven't
Well,
really
you
thought
probably
about
should. If you're going to do something like that for an hour and then do nothing with it, are you saying that Joe Auer wasn't good enough
No, he
to
was
get
awesome.
on? That's what I would have thought.
But that is aside from my actual job description. No, I did 3 of them, so it's not like I can't sit here and make
It's not from
excuses.
your job description, but yet you took. Where'd you go? Did you go to the school to do it?
No, he came to Channel 12.
So you took
on
an
a Saturday.
hour. So you took an hour out of your day.
Yeah, not on my day. Not on my time.
Oh, it wasn't on your time.
It was on my time, not the company time. So it was a Saturday.
Oh, I see. So it wasn't company time.
I wasn't being paid. I don't think.
But you don't know.
I don't know if I was on salary by that time or not. I think I was.
So it was on company time.
No, it wasn't. I did not bill those hours.
Okay. Well, then I guess the only person you need to apologize to is Mr. Auer.
Do you think I need to apologize to him?
Hey, thanks for coming out, and actually you drove out here, so you wasted 2 hours of your day.
I mean, if he goes,
and you got nothing out of it.
God,
right?
You're hurting my feelings.
Well, I
now.
don't mean to hurt your feelings, but a little bit. But that's kind of true, right? I mean,
it's a horrible.
I mean, if you're going to do that, you need to do something with it, or else you're wasting that person's
Here's why
time.
I was overwhelmed.
So those people probably are like, well, why would I come do another interview with you? I spent 2 hours of a Saturday off of my one day off that I get.
Hey, I'd have
and
a day
I came
off too.
out. Hey, this
I
is your
have
job.
Intention.
You're talking about
no,
doing
it's not my job to pin.
Then why did you get him to come out and do it?
11,000 word pieces.
Then why did you get him to come out to do it?
Because I planned on it.
So you've wasted his time. That's all I'm saying.
Did I not waste my time?
Yes, but it was your choice. That was your choice.
Here's why I was a little overwhelmed, because I had done 3, right, of those longer form Wichita's finest pieces for KWCH.com. They all turned out pretty well, but I felt like I had more control over those because they were people. I knew one of the people, but the other 2 I didn't know, and I felt like I could line up interviews more easily. I could do more interviews, like the pastor I wrote about. There were people at her church I interviewed on the same day, for example, as I interviewed the pastor, so it was a little easier. Here, it was like, okay, well, I got to go interview some of his baseball players, some of his football players, his family, or basketball players, some of his family, his co-teachers, his team leads, and it just felt overwhelming to me. Not an excuse, but I'm just giving you my reasoning, my thinking. You feel better?
I don't.
And
I'm sure Joe doesn't either.
It just felt more overwhelming for some reason.
Well, then you shouldn't have done it. Do you not think of these things before you start a project?
No, I thought of it.
So you just thought, I'll waste some of Joe's time on Saturday.
Why do you have to be like that? I wasn't trying to waste this time. Joe Auer's one of my favorite people on the planet.
Because I've been on when we interviewed Joe. I like Joe.
He's the best.
When you do that to somebody like that, I'm just asking.
You just asking.
And you're saying that you just had too much. It was just too much.
It just felt like too much.
So you shouldn't have started it to start with.
I should have, but I should have finished it.
Well, that would have been a better idea.
But I never felt as though I had the time.
Well, Joe may feel like he's never has the time for you again.
Dang. So
that could be it. I'm just saying that's a possibility. Now, Joe's probably too good of a guy to say no, but there's a chance.
Will you text him and ask him?
Joe will not let me have his number.
I'll pass it along.
Oh, well, you better ask him first.
I can't. That's the whole point.
You only if somebody like Joe in his spot. I mean, you have to ask him first before you pass on his number. You don't just give it to random people.
That's true. Joe is a luminary in our community.
Exactly. So you don't just do that.
That's fair.
I don't pass your
you've
number
hurt
out.
You've hurt me deeply in this segment.
Oh,
But,
wow.
at some point I got to look in the mirror.
Is it weird that I'm okay with that? Because
Not really.
Because you decided to do it to yourself? It really wasn't me that did it.
I mean, it was a poor process, but the intent, again, we're going back to intent. I guess the result is the same, right?
Yes.
Whether I intended to do the piece and make it great and
Yes, this is what
highlight a person who hasn't really been highlighted in that way before, in spite of his many, many accomplishments. The end result is it hasn't gotten done.
It has not. It has not.
Regardless of intent. All right, we will take a break. Maybe we'll pick that up later, but probably not. But when we come back, we're going to jump on the IHOP hotline. And, of course, the IHOP hotline is brought to you by IHOP, now featuring pumpkin spice cold brew, 100% Arabica. Is that how you say that? Iced cold brew, sweetened with vanilla and topped with a pumpkin spice, creamy cold foam. You just say it. It just has the copy twice. That's how good it is. You can't even wrap your head around it by saying it once. But joining us on the IHOP hotline will be Donald Dixon, girls basketball coach at Wichita Southeast. Stay with us. Jason Duda is here. I'm Jeff Lutz. It's Bob and Jeff on KFH.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Welcome back. Theme of the music. I did the music this week, dudes.
Yeah, makes sense.
This is Jason Isbell.
Izzy.
If it takes a lifetime, the theme of the music. What if every song? What am I listening to? Is that the?
I don't
is
know.
that my?
That's your. Could you turn your computer off?
I didn't know that it was on, but now it's every song. Yeah, the computer's off. Everybody's fine. Every song starts with the word "if" this week.
If.
If. Let's go to the hotline and talk to the head coach of the Wichita Southeast girls basketball team. That is, of course, our friend Donald Dixon. Donald, how's it going?
It is going well. How about you? How are you guys doing?
We're doing fantastic. I think I can speak for Jason when I say that.
Well, he's going to anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
So you're coming off a really good season, 16 wins. You're ranked in the top 5 now in Class 6A. Expectations have rarely been this high with the Southeast girls team. Is that a fair statement? How are you handling this?
That is a fair statement. I believe we started off. It's crazy you say that because it's been like changing the whole narrative of becoming a winning program. So it's been a absolutely uphill battle trying to get that going, actually, and understanding, get that through my girls' heads that, hey, we're not the old Southeast. This is something new. We're starting something new, and we're gonna ride until the wheels fall off.
Well, and talk about some of the girls. So, you know, obviously, as a high school coach, you lose some players. You only get them for 4 years, and then they're gone. Why don't you talk a little bit about some of the girls you lost, and then obviously fill us in on some of the girls that are coming up for you that you're expecting big things from.
Yeah, that's kind of like a thing that goes on, man. Kids are just up and transferring at will. As soon as they don't like something, they out of here. So it's been a thing. I blame LeBron James.
I'm with you. I can't agree more.
But no, just like those girls, it's same expectation, man. Nothing changed in my locker room. So the girls that are up and coming, they also know what I expect, and they're ready to deliver. So we'll see how they handle the ball this year, going forward.
Yeah, tell us about some of your personnel coming back, Donald.
I still have my 3 that played on my team last year, which is Alana Webb, Leela Jones, and Micaiah. I got Micaiah Jones. So I got those 3 coming back as the upperclassmen, that's a big part of our offense. So that's a good thing. So they're kind of molding those ones that are coming up, and hopefully we can gear up. I'm trying to think of who I have. coming up because it's crazy. It's all new faces.
They're just
Like,
numbers on a jersey. No worries, Coach.
No, I have all new faces this year.
Yeah.
Seems like I mean, a few of them played JV for me, so a few JV players. Tiana will be up and coming. She's a kind of like a defensive guard that's going to be well in my program. She'll be fine. I'm trying to think. I have one of my old players that played on my summer team that is coming back this year. She had an injury last year. She would have played last year, and she's actually going to be a big asset towards the bigs. And her name is hold on, let me see. Hold on, I'm looking at my roster now. I'm making sure I'm getting.
It's still early.
Correct.
You'll learn it eventually.
I'm getting everything correct for you guys. Let me see. Hold on. There she goes.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, no, because this is her first time playing varsity also.
All right. We'll find it then.
Her name is Milan. Milan, she's like a 5'8" sophomore coming back off of an injury. So she'll be gearing up for getting ready for her first varsity appearance. So we're going to see what we can make happen off of those kids alone. See if we can repeat what we started.
Absolutely.
Well, Coach, you got obviously just kind of curious on the numbers and how many girls that you've had come out for the season. Do you feel like it's a good number, a good group? And then obviously tough to figure out who everybody is this early. I understand that. So how is it going this early? And with the numbers, are you happy with your turnout?
I was happy with my turnout. I had 28 kids that came out for tryouts that wanted to play basketball. So, I'm here to develop. So, I mean, that's what I do it for. So, I mean, those 28 kids they're going to fill up three teams, C team, JV, and varsity. We're going to go from there and see who latches on, the fastest. So, I mean, I had a pretty big turnout. I understand it's a major drop-off on the girls' side for some reason. A lot of people are choosing volleyball over basketball. So it's been bad for the City League. I think we're down in numbers as a whole. I mean, I noticed that because I noticed everyone doesn't have a C team this year. So it's been kind of that type of year going forward.
Yeah, Donald Dixon, our guest, the head coach of Wichita Southeast Buffaloes girls basketball team. So I kind of shortchanged you a little bit. I said the expectations haven't really been high, but you're probably going on now, if it goes the way you think it will and that we think it will, four winning seasons in a row for Southeast. So what do you think has overall changed over that time period, at least, as far as like you said, development of the players and just the culture within the program?
It was me instilling like pretty much a structured program, pretty much changing them mentally, getting them to understand that it's not going to be hard if you change your mindset and apply yourself. And then you guys got to understand you come to practice to get better. And like I said, everybody's not rooting for you, so it's kind of like building that personnel in your locker room to where you're standing on your own. Basically, you're one unit versus everybody else, and building that camaraderie, understanding that going forward, like, hey man, this is just us going to battle every Tuesday and Friday. Once you got that clearance, man, those girls start believing in you, and you can accomplish some nice things on the backside of that.
And how does that go? Is it different? Is it different every year, or do you find that some groups and some teams kind of latch onto that a little quicker than others, and some just have to believe in it?
Well, no, it's different every year. Me as a head coach, I thrive myself on getting to learn the actual players and knowing how hard I can push a player, and if that player can even take that, So it's kind of just like me kind of learning the mindset of my players who can actually take being pushed, how to talk to certain players. That's a part of it. And it's just me getting to know my locker room. I try to take time with each individual, whether it's a kid on C team, whether it's a kid on varsity. I try to build that relationship to where they trust me. And once you get a kid to trust, man, they'll do just about anything for you.
Yeah,
so,
Talking with Donald Dixon, the girls basketball coach at Southeast. I know we've had this conversation before, but whenever I think of Southeast basketball, you played for him. Of course, Carl Taylor is the person I think of, the late, great Carl Taylor. I know I've asked you about his influence on you, but what was he really like? Because I always saw him as kind of a teddy bear, even though he had a rough exterior. I know he could be mean. And everything like that. But what did you see from Coach Taylor as a human being while you were there?
Man, one of the most careful, like you said, a big teddy bear, man. He's one of those guys that love you through and through. He's not gonna hide it. But inside those lines, he's a competitor, and he made sure that he let that be known when you cross when you step foot on his floor. Like, instantly, like, hey, I got to come with it, or I probably might not see the floor again. You'll be sitting next to him and listening to him instead of actually out there playing for him. So he was that type of person and competitor. And like I said, he was one of those guys, like, if you didn't have heart to back up your play, man, you probably wasn't going to sniff the court. He's that type of coach, man, and like I said, he'll do anything outside of basketball for you, but inside those lines, man, he definitely was a winning type of person, man, had a winning mentality, and also, like I said, that guy right there, man, a lot of respect. I try to mimic a lot of things he does or done. I'm sorry, in past tense. So yeah, a lot of things he's done, I try to mimic within my program. So. Just stern, setting the standard, and don't accept much. You know what I'm saying? Less than that.
Did you ever see him laugh?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I try to make him laugh all the time. Maybe I'm just not funny. He gave me a chuckle every now and then, but I never saw him like bowl over or anything.
Now I would see him. It's crazy you say that. I would see him laugh around his friends actually, which was crazy. It's crazy because his friends was Ronnie Allen.
Yeah.
So there was another one that, like I said, I got to learn them very well. They used to work camps together and everything that I used to attend. And those are two great spirited people that I look, I even talk to Ronnie's sons all the time. And like I said, those guys are still a walking image of Ronnie Allen. So like I said, I reach to those guys and like I learn from those guys and we just piece it all together and put forth in our craft.
Coach, how's the league going to be this year? Do you see it growing, getting better? Do you see it kind of staying where it's at? Have you seen it getting better through the years? Where do you see the league as a whole right now?
Honestly, as a whole, I think, last year was one of the best years for girls basketball. The floor was, the opponents was more equally matched, to say the least. I mean, now you gotta. I don't know. I think it's for the drop off in girls and girls that actually play year round summer basketball. I feel like it's not very many of them. So I mean, I honestly think the league would be probably. I think it's taking a turn. I would say a turn to me. Not turn for the worse, but I don't think it's going to be too much high quality basketball.
That's unfortunate. Hate to leave you on that note, but Coach, we appreciate it. We know that Southeast is going to be real good, ranked highly already by the coaches, the number 4 team in Class 6A. So keep winning because we want to keep having you on the show. We love having you on.
Absolutely. I appreciate being on the show.
All right. Thanks a lot. Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
There goes Donald Dixon. I meant to check out tough first game for Southeast. Tough first game for Bishop Carroll. Southeast and Carroll. That's a marquee girls matchup in the City League.
Early on, yeah, that's a tough one.
And that one happens on Friday.
Friday already.
Friday.
Man,
we're here.
It just keeps moving. It just keeps going. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
And there's just no break at this time of year for anybody.
No. Nobody. Southeast plays Derby in the non-league. So there you go. That'll be a fun one. Speaking of Derby. Let's go back to the hotline and talk to Derby boys basketball coach Brett Flory. Brett, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys today?
We are doing well also. So this season for you starts on Friday. The football season for Derby ended just 2 days ago. So how do those things coincide? How many football players do you have, and what have practices looked like up to now?
Yeah, that's usually a major challenge for us. Football will end on a Saturday, then basketball will get going on less than a week later. But this year, actually, it's not impacting us a ton at the varsity JV level. We'll have a few kids coming out today to kind of see if they can fit in our roster as well. But for the most part, our varsity JV rosters have been set. Now, usually we're missing up to sometimes as many as half of our potential players. This particular year, it's not so much. We are missing a few freshmen who will be joining us at practice today, who are out for that playoff run as well with Coach Clark's team. But for once, this year it's actually not too bad. So we've been pretty much at full go the whole time.
Well, and that's got to be difficult too, I guess, and for past years. And obviously, you're getting guys coming in and 4 or 5 days before you're ready to start. So has there ever been any thought of asking Coach Clark just to maybe allow those guys to come play, or maybe not do as well as they always do with the football team?
Yeah, well, I'm sure you guys have talked to Coach Clark before. Pretty competitive dude. So they're I know I just count on it. I have it on our calendar, the state championship game every Saturday. And after Thanksgiving, it's show how spoiled we are here. It's just a given that program has such sustained excellence that that's just par for the course for them to reach that stage every year. And what a great run they had. I thought you'd have to ask Coach this, but I thought this year, maybe they overachieved a tad. Not as many superstar names this year on that team, but certainly they gelled at the right time and had a great run, and we're just a couple plays short of another championship. But that winning, though, I always say that it does nothing but help us because, winning is a habit. Winning is a skill just like anything else. And the more of winning that you can have in your school's culture, the better that rubs off on all the other sports, too, I think.
Talking with Brett Flory, Derby boys basketball coach. I'm looking at your roster on Max Preps, and you have 2 captains listed. I was just curious about, do you always have captains? How are they selected? And what are these 2 gentlemen, Mason Anderson and Dallas Metzger, what do they bring to your team from a leadership standpoint?
Yeah, both of those guys were key rotational players. Dallas was a starter. Mason was, one of the first guys off the bench last year on our Final Four team that we had last year. And Dallas, just a wealth of experience. He's a kid who's been playing the varsity level since his sophomore year. Hopefully he's worked extremely hard, and hopefully he's ready to be one of the premier players in the state this year. He's always been one of the premier shooters. He's worked very hard to kind of expand his game this year. Mason is what we like to call a program kid. His freshman year, he was a pretty mediocre freshman team player. By his own admission, he wasn't in very good shape and, had a long ways to go. His sophomore year, he's one of the last kids to make JV, but kept working, kept progressing. Last year as a junior, key contributor on a Final Four state third place team, and I think this year as a senior ready to be one of the premier guards in the state, and just such a hard worker and such a high character kid. And in terms of selection, in my mind, they kind of select themselves. We don't have a voting process, maybe like some teams do or whatever. I'm kind of a little bit of a dictator on that, I guess. But Dallas's experience and all that, it just makes that a natural. The kids have looked to him for leadership, regardless of whether we called him a captain or not. And Mason has just earned it through his hard work for 4 years.
Well, Coach, who else have you got that's coming up that you're looking to do big things for you? And then also on the other side of it as well, you obviously lose seniors and stuff. Who are some of the guys from last year that you lost that were just good kids all around that helped your program get to where it's at?
Yeah, we have 2 other guys that played a lot of minutes on last year's team. We basically played 7 last year, which isn't as deep as we normally go. But Jack Olwelling is coming back as a junior, little undersized guard, but he shot right about 44% from 3 last year. He's also worked extremely hard on his body, expanding his game, so his role will be able to expand this year. And just a tough little dude. And Caden Franklin was a starter for us last year. He's our big kid. We're pretty undersized outside of Caden, but he goes about 6'7", very ambidextrous around the rim, and certainly a kid who, even as a senior, he's still so far from reaching his ceiling. So talented. He's kind of one of those late bloomers. Wasn't even sure he was going to play basketball as a freshman. We kind of talked him into coming out as he stood about 6'3" or 4" as a freshman, and now he's really developed into a high-quality big man at the 6A varsity level for us. We do have a lot to replace, though, no question. It starts with Kason Fisher-Brown, who's now started the last couple games at Newman as a freshman. That shows, just how good he is. He was just such an unbelievable leader for us, and really so great for our culture, both on and off the court. And so lots to replace with him, no question. Not one guy replaces him. Everybody has to step up their game just a little bit, and that's how you try to, make up for a loss like that. And then we also had some other guys. Cooper Chadwick was just a phenomenal defender for us. I mean, nobody got around him as an on-ball defender last year. That's something we're going to have to work very, very hard to replace. And Caleb Brown was a football guy. He's playing football at Friends now, but he brought a real toughness and defensive rebounding presence to us that we're also going to have to work very hard to replace as well. But I like our group. They've had a great offseason, but we got a lot to prove.
Talking with Brett Flory, the Derby boys, ranked number 4 in Class 6A by the Coaches Association. Start the season with McPherson, right?
Yeah,
on Friday.
Fun road trip to start off with.
Yeah, that's a fun one. So is there any part of you talked about this year's Derby football team maybe overachieving a little bit last year? How did you feel about your team last year? Because you did have a little bit of a 3-game little losing streak just there in January. You lost a lot of 1 possession, 2 possession, really close type games. So getting to the Final Four, winning 2 games in the state championship, is that something that you forecasted, or did that season end with a little bit of, hey, we kind of surprised ourselves here?
Well, we always have 2 goals. One of which is to try to be the toughest, hardest playing team in the state, but the second of which is to peak in March. And I'm kind of, I guess, philosophy-wise, a little bit from the Tom Izzo, school of thought that schedule hard, play hard games. Maybe you take some bumps along the way, which last year we lost 7 games over the course of last year, so we definitely wasn't some kind of dream season or magic carpet ride or anything like that. But all those losses and several close ones, like you mentioned, they taught us a lot and put us in a position where we were ready to play our best basketball in March, and kind of made us battle tested. And yeah, we had some scars along the way, but when it counted the most, we were ready to go. And I think more than any high school season, basketball season is really a marathon, not a sprint. I mean, just the number of weeks and months that it covers and all of that, I'm not even sure I want to be playing at the highest level we can in December, because that then it becomes very, very hard to maintain. You want to just continue to grow and improve and just come more and more together, so that hopefully by the time March rolls around, you're ready to play your best. So, were we necessarily expecting to get that far? I don't know if we were expecting that, but we were certainly hoping for that, and felt like our regular season had prepared us for it, because our league, I think, very underrated league with the likes of May South and many others in it. We had some really good non-conference games as well. So hopefully we can go through that process again and be ready to go in March when the time comes.
So you're pretty interesting follow on Twitter, because you share a lot of coaching wisdom of yourself, of others, and it's not always just basketball. It's other sports, and it's not always just high school. It's other levels. So you're really a student of the game of coaching. So what about that profession, even maybe if you weren't in it, kind of speaks to you?
Well, thanks. I don't know if I have much wisdom of mine, but I try to pass along good things that I get from others. But I think I'm an educator, a teacher, a coach, and I think when that's what you do, that's probably just kind of the only thing you could do. It's just for whatever reason, a part of your DNA and just something that you're passionate about. And, a guy like Joe Hour, somebody that I look up to a great deal, who is not only a fantastic coach, but, he's been a fantastic history teacher at Heights for decades, I think he retired from teaching recently, so he's got the good life now. He's just coaching his team, but that's just another example of a guy that hopefully someone like me can look up to and try and emulate. But I don't know. I grew up in Lawrence, Kansas, and I think when you're a Lawrence, Kansas kid, KU basketball kind of tends to infect you when you're young and gets in your blood. And watching Coach Williams, who was there at the time when I was a kid, had a huge influence. That was just someone that I just wanted to be like. I quickly figured out I probably was never going to play for him. So, coaching kind of became my goal and passion late in high school. And I've been very fortunate to have all the great relationships along the way that have got me here.
Well, that's awesome stuff. We really appreciate it. We know you got a quick week here with the season beginning on Friday. I know it'll go fast, so appreciate you making time for us. Good luck as the season begins. I know we'll catch up with you again soon.
Absolutely. Anytime, guys. Thank you for having me on.
All right, thanks a lot. How about that? I figured it out. I've cracked the code.
Here's how I do the code.
Here's how I do my Joe Hour story. Just get people on this show
to do it for you,
and they'll give me the quotes, and that's it.
Man, you just got it all figured out,
right?
You are unbelievable.
Thank you.
It's maybe one of the almost smartest people I know.
So maybe like Darren Dreifert tomorrow, somebody like that. I don't want to advertise that. Certainly haven't booked it. Probably won't. But I'm just saying that would be an example of a guy I could get on and say, hey, man, what do you think about Joe Hour? And then there's a quote from my story. It's two birds with one stone.
Look at you.
Brilliant.
Just almost the smartest person I know.
Right there, right?
Yeah, well, obviously, almost. I mean, it's got to be close.
Upper what? 5?
Upper 55 kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're battling.
You're close to the top half.
You're going to get there sooner or later.
I
just don't know when.
What percent would you say you are?
Of what?
Top what of intelligence?
In who we talking about and who's friends and who's people?
Just people.
Oh,
in general.
I'm nowhere near anybody.
Well,
I can be honest.
So you're saying I'm smarter than you?
I can be honest with myself. Well, I'm inside the top 50, so
you're
just outside.
Just pushing.
You're just outside.
All right, well that's fair.
Yeah,
I mean it's not fair.
It's
what
just
about
the
Max?
truth. Oh, the Silver Fox?
Yeah.
Oh God, top 25 for sure.
One of the smartest.
Yeah, top 25.
Well, that's impressive. Because there are a lot of people in the world.
There are.
And he's in.
I'm just talking about people we know.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
no, not world.
That makes me feel a lot worse.
If we were talking about the world, it'd be
Bob?
a way bigger number. I plead the fifth on that.
Good.
Yeah.
Has to.
Probably smart
right,
answer.
We got another hour of this to go still.
What?
We haven't really talked about anything.
It's what we do best.
Yet. Maybe we won't talk about anything at all. That's always the goal.
You think we could get through it without actually talking about anything?
I don't know.
I bet we could.
I think we'd lose all our listeners, but we could probably do it.
Well, yeah, probably.
Let's make it our goal in hour 2 to talk about something.
Okay, we'll do it.
All right, stay with us. Hour number 2. When we return, Jason Duda's here. It's Bob and Jeff on KFH.